This story is about a wealthy businessman who spends time with new girls every day. However, one day, he meets a beautiful girl who captures his heart. She becomes special to him, and he manages to win her love. They spend time together day and night, but eventually, the businessman truly falls in love with her. Let's see if this married businessman will be able to make his love successful or not. In the beginning of the story, we see a businessman named Rony spending time in a hotel. The next morning, Rony gets ready and steps out of his room, where some people have come to discuss a business deal with him. They tell him, "You've been spotted at this hotel quite frequently these days." However, Rony pays no attention to these remarks. On the other hand, we are introduced to Mona Lisa, a girl known for her beauty and innocence. She is content in her own world and, whenever any boy invites her on a date, she pushes them away with bizarre responses. When Rony returns home, he meets his wife and son. In reality, Rony is a married man. Meanwhile, Mona Lisa is sitting at a bar with her friend, Ruby. Ruby hands Mona Lisa some money, and Mona Lisa, surprised, asks where the money came from. Ruby reveals that she uses a website where she meets guys and earns a lot of money. Mona Lisa is taken aback by this information. Mona Lisa's mother scolds her, advising her to focus on improving her life and earning money on her own. This makes Mona Lisa anxious, so she decides to create an account on the same website Ruby mentioned. Meanwhile, Rony is also browsing this website, looking at beautiful girls to spice up his nights. He comes across Mona Lisa's profile and sends her a request. When Mona Lisa checks her account, she notices many boys have sent her requests, but she decides to ignore all of them and only accepts Rony's request. She gets ready and heads to a restaurant to meet him. However, when she arrives, she realizes that Rony is not there. On the other hand, we see Rony, who is on his way to meet Mona Lisa, but he encounters another beautiful girl on the way and forgets about Mona Lisa, choosing to spend time with the new girl instead. Another guy approaches Mona Lisa and tries to take her away, but she doesn't like this and leaves the place. The following day, Mona Lisa is at home when her mother calls and informs her that guests will be coming tonight, so she needs to stay home. Mona Lisa spends the day bored at home until, suddenly, she receives a message from Rony inviting her to meet. Mona Lisa quickly gets ready and goes to meet him. It's their first face-to-face encounter. Mona Lisa tells Rony, "You look very rich." Rony responds, "Yes, I am a businessman." Then, he asks her age, and she replies, "I am 20 years old." Mona Lisa asks Rony, "You have everything, so why do you meet with girls?" Friends, if you're watching this video, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Rony replies, "I have a family, but I just meet with girls, spend time with them, and then forget about them. They talk a lot to each other." In reality, Rony is trying to make a place in Mona Lisa's heart, but he soon realizes that Mona Lisa won't be easily impressed by him. Meanwhile, they both drink, and the night grows deeper. In a drunken state, Rony kisses Mona Lisa and takes her to a hotel, where they spend time together. The next morning, when Mona Lisa wakes up, she notices that Rony has already left. She also sees that Rony left some money for her. Mona Lisa feels deeply hurt by this. She thinks that Rony was only there to spend one night with her. Angry, she leaves the hotel and goes back home, feeling very sad. Rony sends Mona Lisa a message, but she doesn't respond to any of his messages. After meeting Mona Lisa, Rony becomes restless. His heart is no longer in his business. One day, Mona Lisa's friend Ruby comes to visit her. Ruby asks Mona Lisa, "Did the guy you met give you money?" Mona Lisa replies, "Yes, he gave me a lot of money, but this doesn't feel right." Ruby, smiling, says, "We just have to spend time with rich guys and make as much money as we can." At that moment, Mona Lisa receives a message from Rony. Ruby immediately takes Mona Lisa's phone and starts talking to Rony. On the other hand, Rony is having dinner with his family, but as soon as he sees Mona Lisa's message, he makes an excuse and goes out. Ruby, using Mona Lisa's phone, invites Rony to meet her at a hotel. Mona Lisa understands Ruby's words and decides that now she will enjoy life and make money. Mona Lisa gets ready and heads to the hotel, where Rony is already waiting for her. As soon as Mona Lisa arrives, Rony tries to make her happy, and they both spend a long time together. The next day, Mona Lisa takes Rony to a club, where she serves him strange drinks. Both Rony and Mona Lisa get drunk and enjoy themselves. They seem very happy together and continue to have fun for a long time. The next morning, when Rony reaches his office, he doesn't feel well because he is still drunk. Some people come to him for a business meeting, but Rony pays no attention to them and starts singing randomly. Seeing this, the people in the meeting get upset and leave. In the next scene, we see that Rony and Mona Lisa start meeting each other every day, and they begin to fall in love. Rony takes Mona Lisa in his big car to a show, where they both have a great time. At night, when Rony returns home, his wife is waiting for him. Instead of getting out of the car, Rony stays inside and starts talking to Mona Lisa on the phone. All of this is overheard by Rony's wife, but she remains silent. The next morning, Rony plans a trip with his family for 10 days. He sends a message to Mona Lisa, telling her everything about his wife. After Rony leaves, Mona Lisa starts feeling very sad. One day, Mona Lisa meets her friend Ruby at a club, where Ruby shows her a picture of Rony and his wife and says, "You shouldn't take this too seriously. We should spend time with people like them and then let them go." Ruby advises Mona Lisa to leave Rony. Mona Lisa listens to Ruby and sends Rony a message, telling him that she wants to end their relationship. The next morning, when Mona Lisa wakes up, she sees that Rony has sent her many messages. Rony calls her to meet him and asks her to join him for lunch. During lunch, Mona Lisa tells Rony that she wants to end their relationship. Hearing this, Rony replies, "I've spent time with many girls, but the moments I've spent with you can't be experienced with anyone else." Saying this, Rony begins to get closer to Mona Lisa. Later, they both go back to Mona Lisa's house and spend time together. However, Mona Lisa's mother sees them together, and they immediately leave the house. Rony returns home, and when Mona Lisa gets back to her house, her mother asks her about Rony. Mona Lisa doesn't tell her anything about Rony. A little later, Mona Lisa sends Rony a message, telling him that her mother has locked her in her room. Upon hearing this, Rony immediately arrives outside Mona Lisa's house. Mona Lisa sneaks out of the window and meets Rony. Rony takes Mona Lisa in his car and drives her to a secluded place. There, Mona Lisa says to him, "I love you so much, and I can't live without you." Rony responds, "Your life has just begun, and you will have many relationships with other people. But for me, this all felt like a dream." Saying this, Rony embraces Mona Lisa. In the next scene, Rony is with his wife. His wife says, "I know you love another girl, so I want to separate from you." Upon hearing this, Rony meets his children and packs his belongings to leave the house. When Rony reaches his factory, he finds some people waiting for him. They tell him to shut down his factory. Soon after, Mona Lisa's mother calls Rony and says, "I did all this. If you want to keep your business running, then forget about my daughter." Rony goes to meet Mona Lisa's mother and begs her not to interfere in their relationship. He says, "I'm willing to give you any amount of money you want, but please don't stand in Mona's way." However, Mona Lisa's mother doesn't listen to him and leaves. In the next scene, Mona Lisa meets Rony and says, "My mother is very strict. She will ruin your life," Mona Lisa says. Rony reassures her and replies, "I'll handle everything, but don't wait for me. You will find someone better than me." Mona requests that they both run away together. Rony agrees to her request. We then see Rony and Mona boarding a bus to go somewhere far. During their journey, they stop to have a meal. After breakfast, Rony returns to the bus, but Mona doesn't follow. She stands outside and signals Rony to continue alone. Rony understands that Mona is ready to start a new life. He gets back on the bus and departs. Years later, the scene shifts, showing Mona spending time with her friends. She notices some words written by Rony, where he has stated, I now live with my family, and my daughter runs my business. Mona writes a few words for Rony and says, I no longer live with my mother. I dropped out of college and want to become an artist. They both communicate through their written words but never meet again. The story ends on a hopeful and suspenseful note. Friends, if you enjoyed the story, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next video.